So let's go back to our slideshow and what we were talking about here. All of these different antenna systems are inside every pendant. I mean, I'm working with so many different things, so many different metals. It's like the importance of gold, the importance of silver, the importance of titanium. I work with pure carbon fiber in there, creating toroidal systems, fiber optic materials. But I think this is where I'm going to show you inside that heart companion. You see that big black loop? Those are carbon fibers of a particular size, of a particular length. If I take that carbon fiber loop, which is less than the size of a dime, and every person that's come into my shop, if I put that into their hand, they can feel that energy going right through the center of their hand. Just from one element, one little antenna, that's an antenna. All of these different things. There's a photon generator in there. There is a carbon fiber, no, excuse me, a fiber optic piece there that's wrapped with titanium, particular length, particular number of wraps. Always you follow very particular numerical patterns to achieve goal. The coil on the lower right has 9 wraps. You always work with 9 as a completion number. It's the 3 squared. The trilogy is everything in this reality. Everything comes from the trilogy. And what Nikolai Tesla was saying about the 3, 6, 9, I've never heard anyone really explain their understanding, or his understanding, but I'm sharing with you bits and pieces, and I will over time share more with people, the importance of 3, 6, and 9. But right now, I'm going to share with you just one thing I do. I spend days mixing and hand crushing different types of minerals and chemicals. Well, they're minerals, and some of them are very exotic. And I crush them, mix them together, and there, that little black pile over there, it's black because magnesium is in there, bismuth is in there. And I mean, those are 2 of the darker elements. Black tourmaline, I think, is in there. Those are the black elements. But at any rate, so we work with this crystal mix, and that goes into our chambers, which allows those frequencies to be embedded in them, to clear them. And we also have an oscillating crystal, which is located, come on, there's my little arrow, right there. So this is a crystal that's been specially cut so that it will oscillate at a very particular frequency all the time. And you see those little blue patterns on the back of the plate. Those are more 3-dimensional designs that have been put into 2D that are on the inside of the pendant. And I am bridging a couple of those geometries with that crystal. There's just a lot going on in there when you work with energy. And that's what I mean by a 3-dimensional form.
And by the way, we get so much of our information from guidance. You know, we know a lot. However, what's really the clarity is having guidance let us know, are we doing this right? What else needs to be part of the mix? What is a particular angle that we need to be following? There's very specific ways that we work with guidance, and we've been doing that for 35 years, 36 years.
This is absolutely amazing. I can't even believe how you fit all of that into
It's
here.
origami.
Yes,
Little
no
origami.
kidding. You must
And
have really small tweezers. Microscope.
oh, we have a very good jeweler. And it's like I go in and I say, yes, don't put glue on this piece or move this over here. I'm constantly reconstructing it as I understand more. And this last year with the pandemic was a wonderful blessing for the pendant because I went in and totally redid a lot of things. Like I made more room inside. We used to glue them together. But this last year, because of the pandemic, I went in and I went, I hate gluing. I don't want to do this. There's got to be a better way. And that's when I discovered micro welding. And so we micro weld the edges, and that's the one that you have that everyone's going to be getting now. And by micro welding, we were able to get rid of the glue, which dampened some of the energy by 100%. And also it made more room so we could rearrange things and fold them in better. You know, some of those things that you see folded over something else, I don't want it to touch and short circuit. So what I've done is I've layered materials, and the materials I've layered are wool, fiberglass, and silk. And it's very important working with combination material like wool, a glass, and then natural fiber like silk. Very high vibration silk. I love silk. I love wool. You work with them together in particular ways. You create a capacitance where energy is being generated. I mean, you take a wool sweater and you rub a hard plastic comb against it, and you can build up a static charge because of the way electricity flows. So anyway, we play with all that. And so, you know, back to, I'm sorry, I changed the program that we're working with, and it changed the size of my slide. So I'll have to read it for you. That says chambers aligned with 13 vortexes and the Earth grid. And these I decided to throw in. Come on. I'm throwing you in. Jump. There you go. This is inside one of our chambers. That tube has wires around it. I'm putting frequencies through it. There are geometries inside that are spinning. This is a large 12-foot form in front of it with different geometries in the form. We have another chamber that is maybe about 20 feet away. Again, it's working with frequencies. On the bottom right, that column fits inside that tube. I've just taken it out so you can see what's inside. Those are different geometries that all spin simultaneously. And that's a large 15, 20-foot form next to it of a star tetrahedron in a phi ratio relationship. And so this is working on one of the vortexes on our land where we're working. We have hundreds of acres here where we work with the energy. We work with the beings that have been coming through this land for thousands, hundreds of thousands of years. That's one of the ways vortexes were worked with, for portals between the dimensional realms.
And what's really fascinating, when we take the pendants that have just been made and they're all finished, and when you feel them before they go into the chamber, they are very different when they come out, because the chamber really is about coherence. The pendants, the eye connects, they stay in that chamber for a time of at least 6 hours. And when they come out, because of all the antenna systems and the geometries, they are holding that coherent energy. And so what you have is vastly different at that point than what it was from just being manufactured. And everything, by the way, is handmade. There's, you know, we have certain equipment, certain machines that we use to stamp out and make things and bezel gems and all of that stuff. We do everything in our shop in Lyons. And the real magic happens when we put it into the chamber and it's established and it's set.
And
You know, it's
so,
like ceramic that way.
so once you have put it into the chamber and now I have it, the energies are maintained for infinitely, or how does that, I mean, I'm guessing they do, but how does that
Yes.
work? Is it sort of like the switch is turned on and it's just on now?
And it's also created a coherent pattern with the chamber. So the chamber and the energy on our land goes through upgrades at different times. And Greg's going to explain more about how we turn that chamber on and off. So because of that relationship that's been developed with the coherence, it stays in that family. You know, it will continue to be able to receive those transmissions.
Wow.
You can
Yeah.
talk about that more.
Plus, you know, something I don't think I threw that slide in, but this land is at a very particular place on the planet. Maybe I did throw it in. Let me see if I did, and then I can. No, you did. You see, the planet is geometric. Oh, so many geometries with Mother Earth. You know, I could go on for hours and hours about her creation, about the sun's creation, all around geometry. But years ago, in the late 70s, the Russians discovered that there was an icosahedron. That's taking an icosahedron and a dodecahedron and blending them. And it creates a pattern of the way the energy flows around our planet. And it creates a phi ratio relationship. That's a relationship that relates to your physical body and the way everything works in the physical. And so this is where our land is in relationship to this grid. And we have access to the grid of the planet from our land. There's an entry point where I have geometries. I have many large geometries on our land, and we are pulsing this grid for 24 hours every 72 hours. Very sacred numbers, very important timing, because time is important. Remember, time interfaces with everything geometric, and it is a geometry, time, and it is a construct. And on the opposite side of the planet is Uluru, a large rock in Central Australia. We have forms buried there that relate to our geometries on our land. The large phi ratio star tetrahedron. We have another one in Uluru to create a toroidal flow through the earth, just like your body, just like this pendant is allowing your body energy to flow down and flow up. You must be clear in both directions. And so that's what's happening with Uluru on the opposite side of the planet. This is from a book.
J.J. Hurtak. J.J. Hurtak's The Keys of Enoch.
He's become a sweet friend, and he did the overlay of the dove, and our land is in the left wing of the dove. Well, we put other forms and set up other key points around the US and in the Yucatan. And so this is the overlay of the dove. It was taken from that book. And we were told to activate these other key areas. And after I activated them, I put them on this map and realized that it formed this cross with the head of the dove being activated in the Yucatan at Palenque. And the day I did it at Palenque, we were driving away at night and realized the moon looks kind of funny. And we realized the moon was going into a total eclipse. So we did it on the day of an eclipse, very auspicious, but again, I was simply being guided, go there now, do this now. And then afterwards, I often find out why and how. And that's what makes it so much fun. So very quickly, this is what's going on with your internal organs. And for this particular person, we've done studies where scientists have tested many, many, many people. And this is just one of them where they found their internal organs were almost shut down into that red center zone, and holding the eye connect or the heart companion for just 5 minutes brings everything into the green zone, everything into balance. So it's not just psychologically, mentally, or emotionally that you're feeling this, but physiologically. One of the reasons you feel good when you have that on is your body comes into balance. Because when you're connected, when energy flows, your body is whole, your body is strong. If there are any breaks in the energy field, holding it for just 5 minutes, the energy fills in everywhere. And actually, in places that were initially holes and weak spots, now it's even stronger where the energy is filling in.
This is like absolutely amazing. And it just, I had two thoughts as you were going through that last piece. Number one is, first of all, what an amazing gift you're giving to humanity with the work that you're doing, and that anybody who's wearing or who is called to work with your tools and wear them, use them, they're actually part of stewarding humanity as well. It really feels like that, like, because these pieces are scattered across the planet to help in this entire project of up leveling, essentially. And then the totally different thought that I had in that last part with the picture of the people and just using the pendant for a small period of time, but certainly once you have one, you're wearing it all the time. So I can imagine, you're really fortified. Your entire system is fortified, and what that does for you, like, forget about karma clearing for just a second, and just to be fortified allows you to handle all of life's challenges with centeredness, right? Without getting uncentered, unbalanced. And that's where the karma piece comes in really handy, because when you can approach any situation, circumstance, or event that happens in your life that is, karmic results, and you're able to handle it from a place of non-reactivity, because as we spoke about over the course of this week, karma gets perpetuated through our reactions, through our negative reactions. And wearing the pendant and working with this technology, just from my own experience, allows me to be more emotionally balanced. But when we're physically balanced, of course, that affects our emotional state. Our physical state affects our emotional and mental state. So, of course, it all works together. And I love the presentation because it really allows you to see the full picture. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Also, something that's very important to understand is that, wow, I was caught. I just all of a sudden it went. Um,
Well, I'll say something then.
and
then you'll remember as soon as I say
I will.
something.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, this is something that you said about when we have people all over the planet, and we had guidance that kept like really pushing us, get this out all over the world. And like you could see with the planetary grid, it is very important to have the relationship to all these different nodal points so that, just like in a geodesic dome, and you look at all the different patterns and structures, whatever, it's important for the whole to be working. And so that is so very, very important. And then in relationship to karma, something that I realized when I started to wear the pendant, and other people started remarking about this as well, is that because we are connected, when something happens, it's like we're able to sort of break the old habits and sit back and take that breath, take that moment, get to a different perspective so that our reactions are not what they, normally would be. We respond in kind instead rather than reacting. And that is so important because with all, like what Gregory was showing, with all of the things that are obstructing our clarity, it's so easy to just go back into those reactions, and that perpetual karmic cycles. And this is helping to break those cycles and instead not take it so seriously, because when we're experiencing it from the wholeness of who we are, then we can see that this little physical experience is just a speck of it. And that, that is really, in my way of looking at it, so important in the karma clearing patterns and experiences that people are working with you on.
Yeah.
Did you remember now?
Yeah. Two things. I got two things. Yeah. One is when you see that image of the person's intact energy field around them, that is so important because a lot of our reactions, especially for people that are very, very sensitive, is that we are taking on other people's stuff. We are reacting sometimes not truly from the core of our being, but because of our mix with someone else. And so much of the emotional body of the planet is being mixed up right now in what we're able to do with media and so forth, that it's important to have an energy field that is really in integrity so you can maintain your integrity, you can maintain your focus, you can maintain your core in that way where you are not knocked off center by someone else's energy, or even now you're able to pull back and maintain that space where you can see media for what it is. You can see so many of the distractions for what they are because you're in a place of strength at your core. And that shows it quite visually. But also, one other thing, and that was I shared with you because of your love for Yogananda. And it was one day I picked up the book and I was just kind of reading a few pages and reading about Sai Baba and his connection to Sai Baba, and then I put the book down, and Sai Baba started coming around me, and I mean he just bugged me. He was like, and finally I went to Gail and I said, Gail, I just put the book down a while ago, and Sai Bugga is bugging me. Sai Baba is just, what's he want? What's going on? So she is a very good channel and was able to tune into Sai Baba. And I even watched her once channel Hindi when she doesn't know Hindi. But that's another story. Bottom line, Sai Baba was asking us at that time if he could use the energy that's generated with all these pendants. Because you see, what the pendant does is it takes the energy that's coming into an individual and raises the frequency, raises the clarity, raises the coherence to allow an individual to be able to experience that. And everything that we produce energetically within our body starts going out through the pendant. So he asked if he could use that energy that is not being understood or used by people that much right now, if he could take that energy and direct it to places in the world that were in need of a higher frequency of vibration. And, you know, obviously he asked permission because it was our creation in the physical, but all of these beings work with such love, such respect, such connection that they always ask permission in all of these cases. And so it's so important to evaluate where you are in the world today, the things you get involved in. Are these things that reflect connection, reflect unity, reflect, you know, that synergy? Are these things that reflect, or do we feel and separation? And that really is at the core of the people we choose, the places we go, everything that we all do. We want to choose those steps that take us more toward unity and love.
Yeah. Wow. Go ahead, Gail.
I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I want to just
Wraps it
thank
up.
you for this amazing, the time that you've spent, the, you know, and also just personally, our budding friendship and connection, and really the synergies that we've discovered ourselves around the work that I'm doing with karma and the work of the sacred 3D sacred geometry. And I think our dear friend Barbara Marks Hubbard would be delighted to see our synergies together and our work towards co-creating together. And I just want to let everybody know that I have a link that will be, it should be appearing here on screen, that you can go to directly to find out more about, specifically about the Heart Companion, how you can purchase one of these, which of course I'm highly recommending, especially if you're doing work with me around karma clearing, and we can work with your pendant together to see how it's best used for you in karma clearing. It's a fabulous tool, and I couldn't recommend it anymore. I mean, it's really the only piece of jewelry that I wear, honestly. I just never want to take it off. So again, the link is right here on the screen, and you can go directly to that link. And again, I want to thank the Hoags for.
Let me just add that there is a special discount coupon that's on that page. And if you decide that you would like to purchase something and use the word peace, all lowercase, and that's on that page, you'll get a 15% discount on your purchase.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for that generous offer to everyone here. And any parting words that you want to share with our viewers?
I'm just so appreciative of you, Lisa, and everyone that's here. I'm excited with your work, the work that you're doing. We're all being called to do our work, and you know, it takes a lot to step forward. You know, it's puts us into a place where it's a little bit of discomfort for us to get over our growing edges. And I am just absolutely so grateful for every single person who's a part of this co-creation. It's what's making a difference now.
It is so important, as Gail's saying, that we recognize that this is a team effort, that we recognize that we have the opportunity to reflect the steps we're taking toward unity, and that what's going on in the world can seem overwhelming at times. It could seem like it has dark edges that can be disheartening. But the more you start moving into that higher realm of understanding, the more you see it as a play that is fun when you engage with it. You always can engage from a place of beingness, and that's what transforms the world. Your beingness, and not so much your actions. So when actions come from that place of beingness, and you can start moving beyond the weight of karma, it's the best time to be alive right now. The most delicious, wonderful time. And so thank you for playing with us. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you once again for taking the time to be here, sharing with us, and for doing the work that you do in the world and stewarding consciousness into our planet and humanity in the way that you are. I know that I appreciate it so much and feel honored to be here with you, and look forward to more of our conversations. And I want to just let our viewers know that be on the lookout for more collaborations between myself and Gregory and Gail in the future. It's going to be fun stuff. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Be safe, be well, and namaste. Bye, everyone.
Namaste.